Hello, everybody. This is Rod, and I'm joined with Kim, Doug, and Randy today. And as you can see, we're going to talk a little bit about strategy, overall strategy. And then Randy's going to give us a quick walkthrough of what all we can find in the new learning center that we just introduced this week. And then maybe we'll have some stuff at the end that's been coming up and support from time to time. And it looks like, how many people we got here?
Sorry.
26 so far.
How many people are here, Doug?
25.
All right, that's enough to get going, and people can catch up and watch the rerun. So I'll hand it right over to you. Are you ready, Doug?
Okie doke. Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Excellent.
Hello. Did everybody get disconnected?
I'm still here. Seems like Doug might have dropped out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, and you reappeared, but we can't see your screen yet. I mean, we don't still see your screen.
It's showing.
They're down in the corner.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I think something got a little disconnected for me there. Sorry about that, everybody. Everybody can hear me now? Excellent. Okay. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about strategy of organic traffic platform. It seems that there are some people that are still not quite sure about what the actual strategy is. It hasn't changed at all since the very beginning. As a matter of fact, Cliff made a post over a year ago, an email, I should say, which we've created a post in the forum so that everybody can actually read it. And it looks something like this on the forum. And it really explains at that time his whole idea of an organic traffic platform and how you could build it, which was very laborious and took a long time to do. Since then, we've had him automate it for us. Now we're now in the fourth generation of software with Phantom, and it continues to get better and better. So this is a great post that you should have a good read over, and we're going to sort of cover some of the points that he covers, that he mentions in this email that he sent out to everybody. So what is a traffic network? Simply, it starts out with a website that is got a lot of content on it, just massive volumes that allow pages to be show up when in the search engine results when someone goes looking for things. So the first step is to create a site that it has got lots and lots and lots of content geared towards the niche or topic that you're working towards. An actual traffic network consists of many, many websites. And these could be in the same hosting account, which is probably not a good idea for protection, as we've mentioned many times, or it could be on other web hosts completely. But our definition of a traffic network is to create 10 or more domains, all pointing to one landing page or offer, as we like to say. For each topic or niche that you have, you want to create a huge amount of content. And this will encompass as many keywords as you can find, but not just any keywords. You've got to find keywords that are going to be terms that your visitors will be searching when trying to find your offer. So what we want to do is to take that first site and then duplicate the whole process across all the additional domains that we've built for this traffic network. By having so many sites and domains, it allows you to have many, many more opportunities to be found. And when Cliff talks about the protections, by separating it onto different hosting accounts and different hosting providers even, it allows it so that if one domain gets found and shut down, all your other domains are still working and providing traffic for you so that you don't end up dead in the water. So those are the protections that we're quite worried about. And then he goes on to say, you know, the traffic networks come in all different sizes. I see so many people who are constantly saying, how many projects do I put on a site, and how many pages do I put in a project, and so on. There's no real right or wrong answer. It can be as small as a few hundred pages. It can be as large, at this time, he said, as 1 million pages. With the advent of Phantom, we now know we can go well beyond if we wanted to. So it's really, to me, I've always tried to tell people that it's important to follow with the number of keywords you've got. That will dictate how large of a site and how many projects you've got. If you're going to only cut off the top so many keywords that you want to use and do it that way, that's fine. But just develop some kind of strategy that works for you and keep building. But do, as I say, try and remember to build intelligently by using keywords and titles that are going to be what's your visitors for your offer would be searching for. Just quick question, would you use the same keywords for each OTP domain run since there is so much content? There would most likely never be duplicate content because just because it uses the same title does not mean that the content underneath it is going to be the same, because all that content is randomized. So yes, you could, if you wanted, build 10 websites, and you would be very focused using those keywords and that content. If you want, by adding a few more keywords to the, changing up a few of the keywords in your content scraping, it allows you to broaden your field a little bit. So you've got two different ways you can go at it: more focused by staying the same, or broadening it out by changing up some of the keywords. Okay.
Was it only me that was hearing an echo for a while, or was that for a lot of people?
You sort of sound a little echoey.
Okay.
Content. It randomizes. Yes. Okay. Marty's answering questions. Perfect. Okay. Continuing on. So the more pages you have gives you more chances for the people who are going to be searching for your offer to find you. So that's why it is important to build as many pages as you can and keep building out more domains. Every domain is going to react differently. You could take the same article and put it on 5 different domains, and they will rank differently based on many factors, such as the actual domain it's on and so on. So there's so many factors in play here that you really do want to give yourself an opportunity to be found by creating as much as you can. So please try and do stick with building out your 10 full domains for each network. And most traffic networks specialize in providing traffic to certain niches. Okay, so you do want to focus exactly on what it is you want to go after. Try not to be too broad in your scope. We'll get into that a little bit further. So traffic network, well, here's the example that Cliff had put in that post that I showed you earlier. You may have a traffic network focused on the pet industry, but your websites that you're going to create are going to be on sub-niches in that industry. So as he's got cat furniture, dog toys, bird cages, and so on. So as you see, you want to focus down, niche down onto the specifics for your broader one. I believe it was, and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Kevin earlier this week had mentioned how he had a gift store now, and he had several different projects on that site, all pointing to specific landing pages only for those projects. So that sort of gives you another way you could go about it. One big website with several different mini sites in them, as you might say, all pointing towards your thing, and then doing that 10 times. Define what a project is. A project is a single run in Phantom. You call them a project. So when you type in a name at the top, that's the project name, and that's your single project. Many people put more than one project on a site. So you may have a multi-project site built. That's where you would use your Phantom maps to connect them all. So the larger the traffic network owner builds his websites, and the more websites he builds, along with the quality of content used, and in conjunction with the number of pages, that is what is going to determine your traffic volumes. This is not making a PBM, Kurt. That's sort of a little bit backwards from a PBN, but we can get into that at another time because we've discussed that one before. As Cliff always likes to say, when you control the traffic, you control your destiny. So it's really important to learn how to focus your niches down and learn to build the traffic for whatever niche you want to attack, and be able to create multiple networks, all bringing in you sums of cash that will equal up to what it is that you want to earn out of the work you're putting out. So what do you do with this traffic? You can promote it to CPA products, affiliate products, your own products, local services, or, as I say, fill in the blanks. I know Jeff in the group, he used it for a political campaign. It's endless what uses you can do. You can build traffic as long as you know what your niche is, who the people are that are within your niche, and be able to provide the things that they'll be searching for so that they find you in the results. But do you see what the common theme here is with all that I'm saying on this particular screen? The key word is promote. What we're doing is we're creating online promotions, and traffic is just a small part of an online promotion. So if you think that everything that you're doing with OTP is all that needs to be done, it's not mechanical. There is a bit of a process you have to think about. You are doing this, but not really making it a special part of the process, because doing your research is very, very important. I did have an article that's also on the forum worth looking at called Creating an Online Promotion Using OTP. And we're basically going to sort of summarize the points brought out in that article just to follow up. So an outline of a typical OTP promotion. In other words, what is it that you really need to do to create an OTP promotion? You need to do your niche research. And here's where you want to create a list of niches that you really find interesting, that you're interested in trying to promote. For each of these, you'd like to look at how competitive that niche is. The more competition, the tougher it's going to be to get found in the waters, because you're going to have so many other people out there competing against you. You may want to look to see if this niche is so large that you can break it down into profitable sub-niches, as Cliff was pointing out with the pet industry. So sub-niches could be more or less competitive and still be profitable. So that may be what you want to work your traffic network around, is several sub-niches within the main niche that you initially identified. Once you understand, what's going to be a good niche to look to go for, then you have to start doing your title and keyword research. And there's a little bit more to keyword research than just typing in a main keyword and into a keyword tool and hitting the enter key. Yes, that's going to give you a lot of good keywords based on that one specific main keyword. But do look that there are perhaps other ways of saying that same keyword. Kim brought up here one of the webinars that one of the niche packs that Marty had put into the group was on rollators. I hadn't a clue what a rollator was, but it's just a walker with wheels on it. I had no idea, but if you're in the walker business, rollator is another term you should be creating titles for. So you take all your titles that you collected for walkers, change out substitute walker for rollator, and you got a second set of keywords now that you can be using to try and bring people in. So do look at questions as well. When people are buying, they often are asking questions. We've mentioned it many times before, so it's a good idea to be able to use questions. There's Answer the Public as a free tool. There's Question Spy. There's several other keyword tools that will help you find and key in on questions. Using AutoSuggest is also another Google AutoSuggest, any keyword tool that can find those for you, because those are going to be terms that people have actually searched for. Once you've got all your titles and the keywords you've chosen for your content in place, next thing we need to do is decide on the sales funnel that we wish to use. Most of you are just going direct to somebody else's landing page, but think in terms of the future. That may get you $7 here, $20 there, and that's all great and good. But then the next time you want $7 or $20 from that same customer, you're going to have to build another traffic network and hope he finds you again. So it may be better to consider a sales funnel that includes an opt-in. Give away something, some piece of information that's related to what your niche is all about, and get them to opt in for it. Some valuable piece of information that's related to where you're taking them. And then after they've opted into that, you present them with the offer. So the sales funnel, I mean, you've all been in them, I'm sure, on Warrior Forum and JVZoo. It's some just seem to go on forever and ever and ever. But a sales funnel is an important thing to contemplate. Once you have a list, it doesn't matter what happens to your network. If it was to collapse, you've still got people you can ask, make a community out of, and continue to help them along and suggest new products for them. So it is important to build a list. Sales funnel is a great way to do that. It's also a way to get people, if your product is going to be on a higher end where they're going to be spending a little bit more money and they really kind of don't know you, a typical sales funnel will get you to give something away for free for an email address. Then it'll do something like what's called a tripwire, which is an inexpensive product, maybe $5, $10, whatever. And then once they go to that, then you go for the big sale. With the whole idea being is that when they purchase that tripwire, they've already gotten comfortable with the fact of giving you money, that it's not so difficult to maybe give you a little bit more. So one thing you might want to learn a little bit more about is sales funnels, how they're used, how you can use them, and think about how you might change what it is that you're doing now with the traffic networks that you're building. Once you've done all this, now it's time for OTP. You've got all your titles and keywords. You've decided how your sales funnel is going to go, so you know where you're going to direct people to, because that's part of what goes into Phantom. Now you can fill out all the relevant boxes and press the generate button, and away we go and start creating our sites. After that, you want to do a little occasional monitoring. You've got to know that you're getting some kind of traffic to your site. It's very easy to follow that, even just using the AW stats in cPanel. See that the search engines are coming back all the time, and that there is actual unique traffic coming into your website. Try and look to see that if you've got multiple projects, check those directories and make sure that there are pages starting to be created in all of them. Maybe you haven't used Phantom Maps yet, or you haven't done it correctly, and the search engines can't crawl their way through your site. They can't crawl it. They more than likely won't index it. A site map is a good start, but it's not the be-all, end-all. They want the search bots to be able to start at your index page in your home directory and find their way through your site. So make sure that you use Phantom Maps correctly and get your site indexed. So you just need to check to make sure that the pages are loading. After that, the most important place to be looking is on your landing page. Whether it's yours or on an affiliate platform, even all the affiliate platforms offer a way for you to track what's going on, how many visits you're getting, how many conversions you get. That's where the key lies. You need to get the visitors showing up at those landing pages. If you're getting a lot of people through to the landing pages and there's no conversions, then maybe you might consider that the landing page you're sending them to is not doing the job. So you may have to start using another offer, or built right into Phantom is a rotator. So you could set it up so that you've got 2 or 3 or 4 different offers. And you can check all 4 of them and see if any of them are doing better than the others. And if you find one that's doing better than all of them together, well, then just change it so that your traffic network is just going straight to that one offer that's actually converting for you. Now you've got a network done, and hopefully you're getting some traffic going through, and you're going to see a few sales here and there. What's the next thing that you've got to do? Start thinking about your next traffic network. This is important because although we all hope that that very first traffic network that we build is going to bring us our fortune, quite often it doesn't happen. We got to think like mass marketers. and think about building more multiple streams of income so that it all adds up to get us to where we want to be. So the key here would be to continue building more and more networks as you go. A few questions here. Would Phantom make the site too fast to change the IP rotator? I'm not following that, Kurt. It has a rotator built in, so when it gets accessed, it would know.
All the rotator is a little, and I've showed how to use the rotator in a previous webinar. If there's an interest, I could show it again next week. All a rotator is it's a little PHP script that instead of sending it to one place, it will randomly choose for this particular visitor. He'll get directed to this site, and over time, you can set the percentages on it so that if you wanted to send, let's say you had 2 offers in your rotator, and you wanted to send 3/4 of your traffic to one and 25% to the other, you could easily do that. So it will mathematically just take each lead and send them according to what percentages you set.
You can't speed past anything. It's very linear. If the code says, here's the rotator, I've got 3 items, pick the first one, it goes to the first one. It comes down, it's going to stop and say, okay, go to the second one, goes to the second one. There's no problem that's going to speed past any rotator. If your rotator's off your site, you're not using the built-in one in Phantom, well, it's going to pass the visitor from it over to that site that's hosting the rotator. So at this point, Phantom's not even involved anymore. They've moved the people along. So there's no way to bypass anything. It just continues on its merry way.
We had another question from Roger. He wants to know, when do you stop building out the 10 sites for your product? As soon as you've got, well, what we had suggested was, say, 10 domains, all from different IP addresses, and say 8 projects per domain with different languages in each of the projects. You've now got 80 projects built for a single, sending traffic to a single place, and that's a good place to stop and see how well it does. Could I build more? Yes, if it is doing well and bringing me some money, I could very well stay in the same niche and maybe just take a little bit of a, let's say, for example, I was doing cat furniture. Maybe I'll do cat nutrition, cat litters, cat hairbrushes, anything else to do with the niche I'm in. Or I could totally evaluate. One of the things we talked about using those other 2 domains for is to be testing other niches while you're building your initial set of 10. You could be doing toe in the water type tests with those other 2 domains to see which one is performing best, which one seems to be getting the most indexing and the most traffic.
Another topic or another thing that you could consider doing as well is when you go out and buy your 10 domains and your 10 hosting accounts, or however you're planning on hosting your domains, get them all set up so that the DNS is pointing at them. And once they're all going, build your first Phantom run and then clone it for all 10 of your sites and put that in the root domain. Then go back to site number 1 and start building it out whichever way you want. Then it doesn't matter. Maybe you put 3 projects on that domain and come back a month later and put another 3 projects in it. It's whatever way works for you. But if you get all 10 of those sites with a single project in the root, they're all going to start percolating in the search engines and get things going. So it's a good idea to maybe go ahead and just go ahead, get those 10 sites set up, put something on them, and let them continue. You may come back and wipe out that original project that you added there if you want it, but put something there and get them known out in the search engines and let them come out and have a little look. Then when you put something new on there, they're going to say, "Oh, look, he's got a whole bunch more new stuff," and they'll crawl all through that. So that's another suggestion you can have when you're setting up your networks. So really, that's my 6 basic points of typical OTP promotion. As I say, point 4 is where OTP comes in. So you've got to have a little bit of knowledge on niche research, keyword research, sales funnels, the tools in cPanel to help you with your monitoring. So it does require a little bit of knowledge. It doesn't mean that you can't get it if you don't have it right now. It's not that difficult, but it would be sure nice to have all that information in one spot. So what Cliff has done is got Randy working busy as a beaver for the last few months. And what has he done? He's created the Locustware Learning Center, which most of you hopefully have had a chance now to access and have a look at what's going on. But we've got Randy here now to talk a little bit about it. And the Learning Center is where you're going to be able to find the information that you need to augment the Locustware products. So without further ado, let me get out of this.
You had trouble for a little bit with.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can see him.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, hello, people. First time on here, and just want to say thank you for showing up. Got a lot of good information for you. Going to basically be looking at the Locustware Learning Center, and it is backing up everything that Doug and Kim just got done talking to you about, everything that all of the previous webinars have brought to you guys, and it's going to put it in a centralized place as per Cliff's vision for the future of training for Locustware and Locustware customers. So to start off, if you haven't already done so, go to locustware.com/learn/bridge and hit this registration page right here, okay? This is going to take you here. You're going to put all your information in, sign yourself up. That is going to take you to the point where you are going to be going to the main menu, as kind of teased by Doug earlier with that one slide. This is the main menu. This is your jump-off point for all of your Locustware training, and it covers a lot of different things and is ever expanding as we find more and more tools that Cliff brings out and methodologies that we think are important to Locustware customers. So in essence, what we've got here, let's dig down, and you've got the Locustware tools. It's just a button that goes to this menu. This covers all of the stuff that's in your Locustware control panel. So if you want to learn about Affiliate Sniper, you click on that link, and it's going to shoot you over to all of the training that's available right now in video format for Affiliate Sniper. So if you've got the Pro Edition, we have a video for you. The Elite Edition, we have a video for you. And then a practical explanation of how to use that particular piece of software. Okay, so that is true of every piece of software and methodology that Cliff has come out with that's on the control panel. So you can find that underneath of the Locustware tools, and that is underneath of this button right here. Now, I don't have them there yet, but all of the webinar replays are going to be underneath of this particular button right here. We have a set of courses for product creation, a set of courses for content creation, a set of courses for the Google Tools use. We have a course for list building. We have a course for using social media for Facebook and Twitter. We have a huge selection for just WordPress. It takes you all the way from how do you download the WordPress zip file and then uploading it, using your using either FTP or using cPanel upload. It has a lot of information underneath of there. Go through this step by step. It takes you through each one of these, and in essence, underneath of there, what you get is, we'll just go to the first one. Like this one talks about all the different, and this is fairly up to date as far as, I think I have to add 1 or 2 more videos down here to the bottom, but it tells you what's new in that particular release version that's different from the one that was before it. Okay, so if you look at each one of these, it's going to step you all the way through the cPanel auto install, dealing with the WordPress dashboard, manually installing via FTP and cPanel. So it's going to step you all the way through it, all the way out through the point where you are, 1 second.
Just letting you know, Randy, nobody can read your screen.
Nobody can read it?
No,
it's very blurry.
I think your connection's a little weak tonight.
Okay, that's probably just the wireless stuff. Okay, so in essence, what you've got is a series of different courses that go all the way from Locusware tools to product creation, content creation, the Google Analytics, like what Doug was talking about as far as knowing where your traffic is coming from, email marketing, which is another thing he was talking about with lead capture, solo ads. If you want to learn about FTP basics, I put a teaser out in the forum for FTP basics using FileZilla, the cPanel stuff at popular request to the help desk, the support desk rather. So if you want to go ahead and look at that, in other words, you're not logged in yet to the Learning Center, which we recommend, then you can go check it out in the forum. But understand that the Learning Center is going to be growing by leaps and bounds as we find more material that's going to be relevant to Locusware customers. So as a result, we're going to continue to build new pages, new pieces of content, and make them available. This is going to be your one-stop shop for all things internet marketing. And if you have an issue with anything on the Learning Center, there is a link at the bottom of these pages that, now granted this one says support, but it's going to lead to the learn@locusware.com, and that is going to send it to my Gmail account that Cliff opened up for me, and I'll answer your questions there. So with the question things, do you have any questions for me? Ooh.
Not seeing any coming up.
This is designed to kill what's left of your shiny object syndrome.
Oh, yes.
You don't need to be buying all kinds of whatever's being offered out there. Get focused and get to work. Build your traffic networks, and the other parts about building your funnel, and niche research and email list building, and how to use WordPress. That's all here. And if there's something that you can think of that we ought to have here that you feel like is missing, well, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can't get something here, a good course on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the purpose behind the Learning Center, is to provide you guys a focus that you don't have to be looking all over the place. You just need to come to us, and we're gonna meet your needs where you are. Well, that's all I got. And besides a infinity screen there.
Yes. Somebody asked if the webinars will be loaded soon. Yes, they will. Typically, within about 2 hours of the webinar being held, sometimes a little bit longer, if you just follow the same link that you followed to get to the webinar, it will take you right to the replay.
All the webinars are up on the forum at this point in time as well, Rod.
Yeah.
So if you want to access previous webinars, they're up on the forum. It takes a little bit longer to get them on the forum because we have to download them first and then upload them to YouTube for the to link to the forum.
So
And
Kurt, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and in case some of you haven't noticed yet, Kim has done an awesome job on a couple of the webinars recently of putting timelines down as to where the information can be found. We're going to continue to keep doing that on all the other videos to make it easier for you to find what it is you're looking for a little bit quicker. Awesome job, Kim.
So you won't have to listen to the whole webinar. You know, if you're looking for a particular topic and it's at the 20-minute point, you can take the video to about the 20-minute point and listen for the topic that you're most interested in.
You guys are very welcome.
And Kurt, I don't want to call you out, but I see that you're still a little bit confused with strategies, or asking a lot of questions that indicate that you could still use some help. And I invite you to get connected with me, and we'll spend some time talking about it. So I do that from time to time. Yeah, we can meet on Skype or in Discord. You can reach out to me on Discord, and we'll schedule some time. And I'd be happy to help clear things up for you. Works for me.
Okay, well, I think that sort of brings us to the end of our presentations.
Si, senor.
All right. Well, I don't suppose it'll make anybody cry that we finish a few minutes faster than the hour. Are there any topics that people would like to see in the upcoming webinars? Well, think about it and get us back some feedback. In the one person suggested, and we might be doing this in the next webinar or two. One person had suggested that we go through every tool in the Locustware control panel and just reintroduce you real quick to what's in there and what's it do and what's it for. So if there's some interest in that, I'd like to hear more than one person interested in it, and we'd be happy to do that. Sweepstakes or giveaways. Well, you probably missed. There was a night or two when I started asking people questions on who covered what in the webinar, and the person that answered the question got a nice little gift.
We're just on the webinar topics. We're getting to the point where we feel, Phantom is so easy that we're getting to the point that we've gone over everything more than once, maybe twice, as far as the technical aspects of working with Phantom is. And we don't want to keep drowning the horse, so to say, going over the same topic over and over and over again, because we're just going to bore most of the people. So we really would like to find out from you folks if there's certain strategy issues that you want to discuss, remembering that strategy is so different amongst many different people. And we only have our opinions. So it really is important with strategies to bring out different ones and then start doing your homework and trying to find out more about them.
Another thing we're considering doing is a case study or two, showing people how to build a network from soup to nuts, starting with the niche research and buying the domain and so on and so forth. And then we've also thought about bringing in some people that are doing well in a given area and have them share some tips and tricks about, like, for example, Chet is doing well with Amazon, and Marty's doing well with both local and a number of areas. Jenny does pretty well. So so we'd like to bring in some of our success stories along the way. And in fact, there was a post at about 3 o'clock this morning where a guy who does local has helped one of his businesses increase his business by $50,000 in 5 months. So he was pretty pleased about that. And of course, his customer was very pleased. And, that makes you worth quite a bit of money if you can show those kinds of results for people. Somebody asked me, was I able to find out if you could mass output the translations, or is there a tool that would let you translate a set of keywords to a whole bunch of languages at a time, or if you have to do it one-on-one? I actually forgot to research that, Stephen. I will ask around and see if anybody's heard of a tool that will do mass translations at once.
Lingo will, but it doesn't separate them.
Right.
Yeah, Keyword Lingo will do multiple ones. Just hard to tell where the one language stops and the next starts.
Okay, so one more thing to bring up. Our friend Marty is having a product launch on the 3rd of December. And if he's still around, I'd give him a couple minutes to talk about it. You feel up to doing that, Marty? Are you hooked up with the, I know I didn't give you a...
We would have to make him a co-host to do that, Rob.
Sorry. That was zero planning on my part. I'm sure if you go in the group and ask him about it, he'll be happy to expound a little bit on it. We don't want to make it a total commercial or infomercial on Marty's product, but he'll give you enough to. Yeah, Marty, what's it about? Abandoned traffic marketplace, which means he's showing how to use some of these domain tools that are coming out and finding domains that have been abandoned and reviving them. So it should be a pretty interesting topic. Most of Marty's stuff, it all builds on things you can do using the tools that Cliff provides. So with that, we bid you good night and catch you next week.
Aloha.
Or see you in Discord.
Thanks a lot, folks. Have a good night.